Buenos dias, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. This is my video on how I've made my, shells. So here is the works unit coach. You might have seen it before in any video with the breakdown crane I have. So originally I used this coach for the works unit coach, and I technically still do, now there's a shell that goes over it. And I know it's inaccurate because it has 3 wheels instead of 2, but I don't know. I guess it's because, like, the wooden railway wheels are so big, they just look off as 2 wheels. So now I made it as 3. And when I made it, I didn't have a white paint pen, and there wasn't much room, so I just put works and unit on different sides of the coach. Yeah. But, I don't know, I think it's decent. I think at least I now have half of a complete breakdown crane. And, let's move on. So the flatbed is actually relevant, because anyone remember, this truck? It's meant to go over the breakdown train chassis. I mean, flatbed. Not much of a story behind it. I think it looks good. It can fit, cargo loads in it, and it can fit, any wooden railway load. It's wide, but it's not tall. I think the paint I used is pretty dark, probably too dark, but, it's good enough for me. And, I painted the inside black, and, that's the bottom, what it looks like. It's a mess, but, Anyway, moving on. These are my Linton and Barnstaple vans. These are very obviously based off of these vans that appeared from seasons 1 to 6. And I think they look really good. The first one I made is this one. I'll just get these out of the way. And this is the one I think has the worst paint job. But when I originally made it, it was much taller. But that looked wrong, so eventually I cut it down to size. And it's still tall, but you can see how I kind of cut it up down there. Yeah, and that's kind of affected the paint job, but I still like it. I think that it looks better now that it is smaller. Because now it's still taller than most rolling stock, but it doesn't overtly tower over them. Because now it looks more in scale to how it does, and I like it that way. Anyway, let's move on to the next two. These two are my more recent vans, and I'm much happier with their overall paint job and finish, compared to that one. But yeah. Oh yeah, they all have, little card doors. However, the annoying thing is I accidentally made that van, too small. Like, if you see, if I compare their shells, yeah, you can see there's a definite size difference, and that's annoying. It's pretty easy to hide. It's not that bad. It's small enough that it's easy enough to hide in like a train. But yeah, if I just flip this over, if I put them in a train and I could hide it. Anyway, here's a piece of rolling stock that only ever appeared in the Hit era. If anyone watched that stupid Thomas and the Chickens episode, or whatever it is, Chickens to School, you probably would recognize this van. Yeah, it goes over this Day Out with Thomas tanker. I put it over this one and not the milk tankers because it doesn't have that thing at the top. Yeah, I think it looks good. There's a lot of kind of tape areas here. I think in the show it's actually a container on top of a one-plank wagon. But, yeah. It kind of has and you can see on the sides I didn't know how to do, the windows, so I just used silver tape. And, I added, that, card thing on the side. Anyway, moving on. Here's a big one. My, utility van. Now, I did already have a utility van, this one. It's another custom. I made this one and the shell form because Wooden Railway never made one. Well, they kind of did. They made the mail coaches, but, you know, those aren't regular utility vans, and anyway, they're expensive because of inflation.
I tell you, inflation's red tape.
But anyway, this one isn't a shell. It's an actual real custom. Like, it's an actual model with cardboard and card taped around it, and yeah. But they are basically exactly the same. Anyway, this one is an actual shell, and its livery is based off of this one. Fun fact about this one, it was, well, the model of the paint job it had was originally part of the circus train from season 4, but was reused as just a normal utility van, and was even recreated in CGI and was used in Day of the Diesels. Yeah, and I just wanted to make it because I already had the brown utility van, and it looked nice. So, as you can see, I tried to make it have the same overall design as the express coaches. The doors are 3D parts, like their little card, and there's a bunch of taped line for paneling and stuff. Yeah. And it just goes over that one, but it can be used for any, train with bogie. That's why the axles will change a lot, because I usually place it on top of any just train. I think it honestly looks really good. It was really hard to make, but yeah. Yeah, I like to pair these two up together, you know, in freight trains, but I honestly don't do it that often because of their contrasting colors, but yeah, I still think it's pretty good. And anyway, I think that is a good segue to move on. Alright, so the camera did not just wobble and whittle around. Anyway, these are two auto coaches from the Railway series. I haven't decided if I want them to be Alice and Mirabelle or Isabelle and Dulcie. But, yeah, honestly, there's not really anything to say about these that I haven't said already. They're pretty wide, so, you know, they kind of flimsy for how wide and long they are, but you know, I think their details are pretty good. I like how they look. I don't think I've used them in any videos yet, but I probably will one day. Anyway, yeah, as I said, I don't really have anything to say. They were originally made for the model that would have, for like those, I don't know what they're called, but like these types of coaches. I had one. It was the one that I used to make the Station Master's coach. But yeah, honestly, I think that is a good place to stop for today, because these are all the custom shells I have. Goodbye.